Hello everybody and welcome to Wine Library TV. I'm your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. So today's September 11th, 2006, and 5 years ago today, obviously a lot of things happened to this country that we will never forget. Obviously being in New Jersey and the New York tri-state area, I feel that we were affected maybe more than the rest of the country. I know how I feel about the Oklahoma City bombing, or when we feel about things on the West Coast with the mudslides and the earthquakes. Obviously when you're right there, you're affected a little differently. I recall the day very vividly when I went outside the store moments after it happened and we saw jet planes flying over the store. It was obviously a surreal day and it affected us very heavily, given that at that point at Wine Library's history, most of our clientele was in New York and New Jersey. And I remember the following days talking with Eric and taking out the emails from everybody at Cantor Fitzgerald. We had 70 or 80 clients from that company alone pass on that day. It was just an amazing week afterwards when getting invited to funerals on a 5 to 7 time a day basis was the norm. And just something that will always stick with me and stick with our area and stick with our country. And I gave a lot of thought if I was going to come to work today, what was I going to do? Was I going to do Wine Library TV? And I decided to do that. And the best way I've come up with it was I thought we could do a little tribute to America by tasting 3 wines from California, all with the 2001 vintage. Obviously, it's a tough time in our history, and we have to move on. And wine and celebrating and remembering is a very integral part of life, and that's what we're going to do today on Wine Library. So before we get to tasting the wines, I will mention a couple of other things. The New York Jets are well on their way to being 16-0 with our humongous victory over the Tennessee Titans. It's great to see that Chad's back with his newfound arm strength and accuracy, and we're thrilled here to be 1-0. Many of you guys are not 1-0 anymore, so I feel bad for you fans in Dallas and Tampa and all you other guys, Green Bay, who've been talking a lot of trash on Wine Library TV. Unfortunately, the Bears won 26-0, so the Bears guys, which we have many of you from Chicago, have a lot to yap about. Other than that, before we try the wines, I do want to mention that I'm putting a link below the video to our super tasting. This is the first time I'm talking about this. You might have seen it on Wine Library. Every year, and this is the 5th or 6th, this is actually, believe it or not, this is the 5th year. The first year was 2001. We do a super tasting at the Manor in West Orange. It's an enormous event where we have about 80 tables filled with about 800 to 1,000 wines, all high-end mainly, and just an amazing event. It's our big tasting each year. It's on the Monday and Tuesday of Columbus Day. I'll have a link below, and if you've never been, please try to make it down. Even if you live in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, we get a lot of people from out of state. So, with all that out of the way, let's get into the wines. This is a 2001, Bennett Lane Cabernet Sauvignon. Small producer, really nice producer in Napa Valley. Make a lot of good wines. It's about a $30 cab. The only price I was able to find on this was 89 points from Connoisseur's Guide to Wine, which is a good publication. Really nice color. Big aromatic nose, massive nose. Again, it's nice to taste wines a little bit older. These cabs are 01. We've been tasting a lot of 03s and what have you. So a couple years of age on it. 2001 is widely considered an exceptional vintage in California. Big fruit flavor, nice black cherry comes through, really nice actually, nice long finish. Strong finish, kind of like the Jets yesterday, strong finish. But there's too much acidity and it's a little off balance. Nice chocolate aspect on the nose and the finish as well. But what I'm finding from this wine is that it's very one-dimensional, other than its complex nose, which is really, the nose is spectacular. The nose is almost worth $30 by itself, so I'm not going to pan the wine. But I'm just going to give this an 87 overall, which is a nice solid number. Again, I find the acidity and the lack of any other flavor besides black cherry to be really the downfall of this wine. I don't think most people trying this wine would be that upset with it. It's just not doing much for me. Yeah. That's it. Let's move on. Thomas Fogarty, 2001 Cabernet from the Santa Cruz Mountains, and this is a very, very interesting California cab. I've been a big fan of Fogarty for a long time. I first started buying Thomas Fogarty wines when I first started having buying power, so like the 95 vintage, 94 vintage. Had a lot of Fogarty wines. They make a very sneaky wine. This is a $35 to $45 bottle of Cabernet. 93 points wine enthusiast again. Really a nice color. Really dark purple. Really nice. Coming through very nice. 2001 again. Awkward nose. Very earthy. Little bit of soil coming through. A little bit of like chopped up worms, you know, coming through. Big wine, huge tannins, very firm, very dry. Black cherry, a little Asian spice. But wow. Hold on. The finish completely disappears. I mean, I'm almost at the level where my palate's now completely clear of all flavor, which is a really disappointing job by Fogarty. 85 points, no finish. And if you don't finish strong, you're going to lose. And this wine definitely does that. I'm really actually quite shocked as I rinse out this with the next wine. It just did not show me much of anything. Shockingly high rating from the wine enthusiast. I mean, 93 points is crazy. The wine was not that great, even if it finished strong. So I'm going to have to pass on that. 0 for 2 today. You know, we're remembering, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we got to call it like we see it. And both these 0-1s are just not showing much at all. Delectus 2001 Cabernet from the Stanton Vineyard. This is a big-time vineyard, and the 01 from Delectus looks to be packing a crazy color. I mean, real dark. Real dark. Wow. Beautiful nose. Very floral. Very creamy on the nose as well. Almost like cream, you know, almost like strawberries and cream. Really nice. Yeah, strawberries come through really nice as well. Little hint of eucalyptus as well. Real powerful burst of flavor. Yeah, almost knocked me out. Real cherry, strawberry, blackcurrant. Really nice. Great mid-palate. Chocolate on the finish, which is just outstanding. Little cocoa bean. Little tobacco on the nose as well. This is a powerful stuffed bottle of wine. I really enjoy this wine. Let's go 92 points in this. It's a 91-point spectator wine, $47 to $55. I'm really high on Delectus. There's a guy by the name of Gerhardt behind this wine. I've hung out with him in California once. He's a wild animal. You should definitely find him out. And that's what I said, wild animal. The guy's a cool dude. You'd enjoy him. So if you're in California, look up Delectus. 92 points in this 01 Stanton. It's sensational. And at 48 bucks, exactly what California wine delivers in this price point, what you hope it does. And I'm just blown away. Much better than the other two. I apologize to the other two. It's a winner. At least we had one. Finally, I'm going to ask you a question of the day, but I'm also going to ask this. I'm going to ask you, what would you like me to answer for you tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to be a very special episode. You know, we had Friday, wasn't able to do a show. Today's kind of a different kind of day. So tomorrow I really want to come back gangbusters. Do a long episode, taste a bunch of cool wine, do a cool theme. I'm going to give it a lot of thought. Got a couple ideas. But most importantly, whatever comments are asked, specific wine questions are asked in today's episode, I'm going to try to tackle, whether on video or personally responding tomorrow. So, real cool episode. Get your comments in. Ask any question you want. I'll probably do it on the air. Also, while you're doing that, I have a question of the day. You get to see what I'm drinking all the time. What are you drinking? Let me know what you've been drinking wine-wise this last week or 10 days. What are you drinking? Let me know the last 2 or 3 bottles of wine you've been drinking and your thoughts. I'd love to share. We'll see you next time on Wine Library TV. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, remembering.